Hello everyone, and welcome back to Sketched Out, a graphic novel commentary. February is Black History Month, and so I thought this would be a good time to go over a series that I've wanted to do for a little while now. This one is the March series by the late Congressman and civil rights activist John Lewis with Andrew Aydin, and it was illustrated by Nate Powell. But before we start that, I want to go through some information about digital resources at the library. I just wanted to let you know that we have a program called Hoopla where you can borrow digital graphic novels. If you're not familiar with Hoopla, it's a web and mobile library media streaming platform for audiobooks, comics, ebooks, e-audiobooks, movies, music, and TV. So with Hoopla, you can instantly borrow up to 5 items per month. And February is the first Hoopla bonus borrows month. So 1 month per quarter, February, May, August, and November. Patrons can choose from hundreds of titles in the bonus borrows collection. The Hoopla titles there don't count toward your 5 borrows, so they're essentially free. So there are thousands of graphic novels available on Hoopla, including all 3 of the books that we're going to talk about today. So back to the March series. This is actually a graphic memoir. A first-hand account of Lewis's lifelong struggle for civil and human rights. Book 1, released in 2013, recounts Lewis's coming of age in Alabama, where he loved going to school and dreamed of becoming a preacher. He actually used to practice preaching to the chickens on the family farm. So in this novel, he first encounters Martin Luther King Jr., and it's instrumental in his involvement in the Nashville student movement and their battle to end segregation with nonviolent lunch counter sit-ins. So book 2, which came out in 2015, focuses on what came after the success of the lunch counter sit-ins. His commitment to changing the world through nonviolence as his fellow freedom riders board buses into the Deep South. There, the activists face violence, imprisonment, arson, even death, while dealing with the differences of each faction of the movement. John gains allies in Martin Luther King Jr. and then also the Attorney General Robert Kennedy. And he's elected as the chairman of SNCC, which is the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. So there he becomes thrust into the national spotlight as one of the Big Six leaders of the civil rights movement and a central figure in the 1963 March on Washington. So that's book 2. Book 3 was released in 2016. In the final installment of the series, tensions are really rising as the government obstruction continues in the South and civilian terrorist attacks continue. President Kennedy is then assassinated, and it's unclear whether Johnson is going to be an ally in the movement. African Americans in the South are still blatantly blocked from voting, and Lewis and many of the other activists get more creative in their nonviolent pursuits, including the Freedom Vote, setting in motion the Mississippi Freedom Summer, and fighting for the soul of the Democratic Party live on national television. So that's the basic plot summary of the series. There's obviously more to it than that, but you can read the story and find out. The thing about graphic novel memoirs, you can sort of think of them in 2 ways. The first one is sort of a cliff notes of the story, and the other one is as a visual means of understanding a story. When it comes to a graphic memoir, you aren't getting nearly as much text information as you would be with, say, a written memoir. But if it's done correctly, then you're getting literally a vivid picture. So Congressman Lewis's story is harrowing and emotional and heroic, and this graphic retelling is excellent. So I recommend that you go check it out, and while you're at it, you can check out other books, movies, and media by Black authors and artists. If you're not sure where to start, there is a Black History Month display right next to the self-checkout station at the library. So thank you for tuning in. I hope that you will like and subscribe to our channel, and I will see you next month.